Facebook Live, we have arrived. One more time, y'all. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to get it in. Let's see here. How y'all doing this morning? I hope Baruch. Everybody Baruch. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to some simple stuff, y'all. Let's go to Romans today. I haven't done this in a while. Romans 7, y'all. Romans 7 and 7. Romans 7 and 7. Romans 7 and 7. Look what it says. It says, what shall we say then? Is the law sin? Yah forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law, for I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou should not covet. So what's wrong with the law? Nothing. The law is what exposed to us our wickedness. Where there's no law, there's no transgression. The law is what exposes the transgression. If there was no law there, I can be going against the Most High, and there's nothing to prove it by. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? And sin means to go against Yah. Is the law against Yah, in other words? The answer is no. I had not known sin except by the law, for I had not known lust except the law had said, thou should not covet. Y'all know the 10 Commandments, one of them is thou should not covet, right? So y'all know it's talking about the 10 Commandments, right? What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Yah forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law, for I had not known lust except the law had said, thou should not covet. But sin, now that it's exposed, right? But sin taking occasion by the commandment wrought in me all manner of concupiscence, for without the law, sin was dead. Again, sin was lying dormant. You couldn't see it. But when a commandment came, it aroused the wickedness, and it exposed all the wickedness in me. You know how people think that they're cool? Have you ever met those people? I don't bother nobody. I mind my own business. Have you ever met any people like that? Well, put them jokers up against the law and see what happens. See, in their life, sin is dead. When the law comes, it exposes it and it shows you. 9th verse. For I was alive without the law once. But when the commandment came, sin revived and I died. The knowledge of knowing you wrong. You know the problem with some people that's trying to serve Yah and they can't. They think they're serving him. They just hang around him. But what stops them from really being his child and really serving him is because what the law came to do, wasn't able to do for them. See, what the law came to do is give you the knowledge of you wrong. Some people won't admit they're wrong, or they got another problem. If they admit they're wrong, they ain't willing to do anything about it. And that's a problem. See, the law came to expose sin. And anyone that really belonged to him after the sin is exposed, they want to fix it. A child of Yah don't make excuses for their wickedness. They want to get it right. The Most High show you what's wrong with you to give you the opportunity to get it right. He wouldn't waste his time to show you what's wrong with you if he know you don't care. That's why he said, give not that which is holy on the dogs. A dog don't care. You ever heard somebody say, so, and? For I was alive without the law once. But when the commandment came, sin revived and I died. And the commandment which was ordained to life, I found to be unto death. The commandment came in theory to bring life. But of course, the Most High knew that it couldn't for us. That's why he put life on stone, because his word on the fleshly, stony heart of human beings equal death. And the commandment which ordained the life I found to be unto death. For sin taken occasion by the commandment. Sin, our stubbornness, our wickedness. For sin taken occasion by the commandment. The commandment is what exposed it. And it deceived me, and by it slew me. Look what he said, 12 verse. Wherefore the law is holy. Ain't nothing wrong with the law. Wherefore the law is holy. And the commandment holy. Just and good, and he finds no fault with what Yah said. The word is going out of his mouth. Nothing wrong with it. Was then that which is good made death unto me? Yah forbid. But sin. Y'all, we got to get rid of the sin or it's going to kill you. Listen, just because you've been living your whole life with sin, don't mean you got away with it. This is the opportunity for the believer to get rid of it. I taught last night. Those of you that didn't hear what I taught last night, is super simple. You need to go look at it. I taught it last night. That judgment has begun for the believer. At the house of Yah. Y'all check it out. 13th verse. Was then that which is good made death unto me? Yah forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin. Our wickedness is not looking so wicked to us until you look at the commandment. When you look at the commandments, then you look at yourself, you go, oh, I see the problem. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good. It's working death in us by that which is good, because we're not good. But the commandments is. You compare something good against something bad, it's going to prove that the bad is bad. That sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I'm carnal, sold under sin. So the law is good and spiritual, but I'm natural. I'm a normal, fallen human being. Out of pocket, too. How many of y'all can admit you've been out of pocket? You in and of yourself, you're not cool. If you think you're cool, something wrong with you. Not only are you not cool, but you're deceived. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Look what he say. For that which I do, I allow not. Now, again, that which I do, I allow not. That means what I'm doing, I hate it. In other words, when I go against the Most High, I hate it. The wicked stuff I do, I hate it. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, you know what we would do? Obey the Most High. For what I would, that do I not. But we end up turning on him. But what I hate, we hate going against the Most High. That do I. If then I do that which I would not, if I am doing sin and I don't want to, I can sit under law that it is good. 17th verse. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I want to obey him, so I'm going to disassociate myself with my actions. That don't mean you're disassociated with your actions, but in theory, in other words, I'm sick of myself. I don't want to be affiliated with sin. I don't want to be affiliated with going against the Most High. That's a person that really love him feel that way. A wicked person enjoy what they doing because they benefiting. It feel good to commit fornication and adultery. Feel good to get drunk and high and act a fool. Cuss folks out, tell folks off, shoot at them, cut folks. Feel good to be stingy, self-centered. It benefits you. Then if I do that which I would not, I can sit unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it because I don't want to do this. But the sin, that evil nature, I'm a captive of myself. They can't help it. I'm a slave to sin and I hate sinning. Though I enjoy it. But I don't want to go against the Most High. Know what I'm doing ain't right. 18th verse. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, that's that evil nature, y'all. Talking about our natural humanism. For I know that in me, that is in my human nature, my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. You got to know that in order to be saved. It'll help you. You know what the war is. The war is against yourself. You ain't got to trip off me. You need to stop lying, being two-faced, lustful, funny style, stingy, unfaithful to Yah, in and out, up and down. That's you. For I know that it's in me, you got to know that it's a problem. Some people justify it. Some people got the, oh, well, take me as I am type of attitude. No, it ain't going to work like that. You can come as you are, but you're going to make some changes or you're going to die. Because the wage of sin is still death. Do not get it twisted. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me. The desire to do right is present with me. But how to perform that which is good, I find not. For the good that I would, I do not. I got a desire to do good, but I ain't doing it. It is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwelleth in me. Look at this, what he said, 21st verse. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. I find then a law that I would do good. Something is telling me to do something else. When we do good, there's something fighting against us. When we do good, there's something fighting against us, trying to stop us. That evil nature. Even when you obey Yah, something is telling you, don't forgive them. Don't you give your money to that ministry. If the ministry blessing you and it's a value to you, why not? Don't get in the camera, Jasmine. I find in the law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man. For I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man, meaning I love him inwardly, but somehow we got to get him outwardly, don't we? For I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Something is fighting me. I want to obey him, but there's something pulling on me. I find in the law that when I would do good, evil is present. For I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man. But I see another law in my members. It's not over here, son. I find another law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. I delight in the law of Yah after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, inside of me, the enemy in me. But I see another law in my members, warring. It's a war, warring against the law of my mind. The jacked up part is right here. And bringing me into the captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. In other words, I lost the war. I want to do what's right, and I find myself doing what is wrong. I'm going to read that again. I want y'all to get this. Look, who won the battle? I see then another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. See, in my mind, after my inward man, I serve Yah. But there's something else. There's another law in my members warring against the law of what I want to do, which is obey him. And it's bringing me into captivity. I lost the war. Bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. It's inside of me. I talk that good stuff. I talk that saved stuff. But check me out. Catch me on an off day. Catch me when I get off the line. Catch me when in my day-to-day operations of how I talk, how I walk, where I go, what I do, what I say, how I think. Come on, somebody. Folks talking a good one, but they losing the war. Saul can relate with that. They call him Paul, y'all. 24th verse. Oh, wretched man that I am. Oh, he honest. Who shall deliver me from the body of this death? He's not deceived. Hey, I see people live like the devil. Talk a good one, but live like the devil. And swear they on their way to heaven. Swear they got a perfect relationship with the Most High. They swear, you can't tell them nothing different. They live like the devil. But let them tell it. Oh, we all sinners. Let them tell it. Ain't nobody perfect, because they wicked. Wicked folks love to point out that we all sinners because they walk in sin. They speaking of themselves, to be honest. But that's their testimony because they're looking at themselves. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of his death? Because you got some people that was doing wrong, felt the same way as Paul feel, but took the line of action that he took. Because there is a line of action. Let's keep reading. First line of action is to admit that you're out of pocket. To the point that you want to change. See, if you look at his sincerity, he is not staying there. In fact, in this, what we were reading, he was disassociating himself with sin, though he was the one sinning. He couldn't accept the fact that he was going against the Most High, even though he was going against the Most High. He wasn't doing it in a deceived way, like, I'm going to continue to and I'm still going to heaven. No. He said, oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? He had enough sense to admit he was a dead man walking. He had enough sense to admit that he was on his way to a burning hell, that his relationship with the Most High was not cool, even though he had good intentions. But his conclusion of his good intentions, since he lost the war, whatever was warring against the law of his mind, it brought him into captivity to the law of sin, which was in his members. So his conclusion was, oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? So now we're getting closer to the conclusion, y'all. Because in the 25th verse, he said, okay, I'm schizophrenic. I'm double-minded. This is what he said. Look what it say. 25th verse. I thank Yah through Yahushua HaMashiach, our Adonai. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yah. With the mind, I'm in love with him. and I want to obey him. But with that flesh, the law of sin, that evil nature that brought me into captivity, that was winning the battle. I wanted to do good and I wasn't doing it. I hate to go against the Most High. I find myself going against him. So that evil nature was winning the battle, so he admitted that I'm wretched. And I want to be saved. And who gonna deliver me? It's what he wanted to know. Let's keep reading, y'all. 8 and 1. Because the conversation don't end because the chapter changed. Look what he said. There's therefore now no condemnation to them which are in the Messiah, in the Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Is y'all getting this? Look, since the flesh got an agenda, and the Spirit got a separate agenda. The Spirit, the word of Yah, got a whole different agenda than my human nature. There's therefore now no condemnation to them that are in the Messiah. You can't be in Gandhi, Buddha, meditating, yoga, this energy, and, you're in the know, you woke, a bunch of woke folks running around. None of that woke, all that old, whatever the heck y'all talking about. Hotep brothers, all that, none of that, right? Muslim, none of that. There's therefore now no condemnation to them that are in the Mashiach, Yahushua, HaMashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. Not just being in the Messiah, he was in the Messiah, but he was doing wrong. There's therefore now no condemnation to them that are in the Messiah, who walk not after the flesh. Because you got some folks that was in the Messiah that walk after the flesh, and they're doomed. They're done for. There's therefore now no condemnation to them which are in the Messiah, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. In other words, you deny your flesh. You tell yourself no. He was schizophrenic. With his mind, he was serving Yah, but that sinful nature was getting him. So he had to stop walking after that sinful nature. Because the flesh wars against the spirit against the flesh. These are contrary to one to another. You can't do what you want to do. You got people to do what they want to do. That's why they can't serve him. People that do what they want to do cannot serve him. And it is super hard to let your flesh go and grab that joker back. It can be done, but it's super hard. Once you let your flesh go, that joker get buff, seem like. Then try to grab him back and see what happens. Get delivered from it and then go back to it and then try to leave it again. See how hard it is. You can do it, but it ain't easy. So the condemnation is not just to them that are in the Messiah. It's those that are in the Messiah who walk not after the flesh. Don't do what they want to do, but do what the word tells them to do. Second verse. For the law of the Spirit, look at this. For the law of the Spirit of life. Did y'all know that the Spirit of life has a law? Or the law of the Spirit is life? And the law of sin is death? Obeying the word has a law, eternal life. And disobeying Yah, which is sin, has a law, which is death. For the law of the Spirit of life that's in Yahushua HaMashiach had made me free from the law of sin and death. See? You sin, it's a law. Catholicism tell you can sin, you still going to heaven. No, you sin, there's a law. That's what the words say. I don't know what these preachers talking about. But sin, disobey him. Don't worry about it. Death is there. Don't get it twisted. Third verse. For what the law could not do. What was wrong with the law, y'all? For what the law could not do in that it was weak through the flesh. Wasn't nothing wrong with the law. It was our evil nature. For what the law could not do, what the law couldn't do? Tame that evil nature. That evil nature was exposed by the law. What the law really did was expose our evil nature and prove that mankind is sinners on their way to damnation. That's what the law did. What it couldn't do is stop man from being damned. Stop man from being cursed on his way to destruction. That's what the law couldn't do. For what the law could not do, and that was weak through the flesh, Yah sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, being fashioned as a man, the word being found fashioned as a man, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. Where is sin condemned at? In the flesh. In your humanism. In your human nature. And how you see it, how you feel about it. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's where sin is. What you going to do. But if we submit ourselves and do what he say do, is the only way out. We got to learn how to defer to him as opposed to doing what we want to do our way. For what the law could not do, what it couldn't do, it couldn't make you obey him. It exposed the fact that you wasn't obeying him, but the power to make you do it wasn't in the law. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. The weakness came through our evil nature. We couldn't keep the law. Yah sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, he did this for sin, y'all, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. Back to the 10 commandments. There was righteousness in it. And it will be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh. If you don't walk after the flesh, then you don't have to break the 10. You're not under it, but you don't break it. We're not under the law. We just don't break it. The law not talking to us. The law is talking to the sinner. Read 1 Timothy 1 and 7, y'all, starting at the 7th verse. The law is not made for a righteous man. When you led by his spirit, that's what Galatians, the 5th chapter, was talking about. If you're led of the spirit, you're not under the law. If you're led by of his spirit, the law is not talking to you, because the law was not made for a righteous man, but for the sinner, for the ungodly, for the yawless sinner folk. That's who the law was talking to. This law came because of transgression. Israel was wicked, so the law came to prove it to them. They were a chosen nation because of Abraham, but they lived wickedly. So the law came to expose them, and that's what Paul was talking about in the 7th chapter. The law came, sin revived, and I died. It exposed that he was religious. But he loved the Most High. He wouldn't quit there. He was seeking for the answer, and he found the answer. There is therefore now no condemnation to them that are in the Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. You got to divorce your flesh. People that are in the flesh, it's super easy to see. They just can't see it. It's no rocket science at all. I mean, when I say at all, I literally mean at all. There's no rocket science to folks that walk in the flesh. They do them. They say what they want to say. They do what they want to do. They free birds. Just do you. But those who walk after the spirit got to obey the word. Folks that are led by the word will make you assemble faithfully. The word will make you not cuss and act a fool, get drunk, high, commit adultery, fornicate. The word don't let you do that. Folks that do that, they're not led of the spirit. They do them. You can assemble, you can go to church, but you're still of the flesh if you mind things of the flesh. Is y'all getting something out of this? Hope you're learning something. Listen. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yah sending his son in the likeness of sinful flesh of a sin, for sin, because of sin, condemned sin in the flesh. Where is sin at? In the flesh, in our natural nature. That the righteousness of the law had a righteous piece. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, just like I just said. When a person is fleshly, they go off of their emotions and how they feel. I don't want to. The words say do this. I ain't there yet. Then you fleshly. For they that are after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. When you belong to Yah, you obey him. You do what the words say do. 6th verse. For to be carnally minded is death. The wage of sin is death, y'all. For to be carnally minded is death, to be naturally minded. You gonna do you? You gonna do it your way, no matter what the word say? Then you're religious. You're carnal minded. For to be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded, word minded. I'm gonna obey Yah minded. Whatever he tell me to do, that's what I'm gonna do minded. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. I'm going to read one more verse to let y'all go. Because the carnal mind is hostile, enmity, y'all. Because the carnal mind is hostile against Yah. For it is not subject, it won't bow down. It's going to tell you how it feels, and it's going to do what it want to do. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yah. Hostile against Yah. It's not subject, it won't bow down. To the law of Yah, neither indeed can be. All right, this last one. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yah. All right, I got it out. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yah. If you're in the flesh, you can't please him. Because you're going to do you regardless of what he tells you to do. Those that belong to Yah, obey him. Did y'all get that? That was the sermon there for this morning. Let's pray. Spirit of the Most High, we love you and thank you for gleaning in the word a quick snack filled with eternal life. Allow the truth of your word to go forth, falling down in the souls of your children, springing up in everlasting life. Cause us to have the mind to obey you, and we'll be careful to give you the praise and the honor, not only now but forevermore. In the matchless name of Yahushua HaMashiach, we humbly pray. Hallelujah and amen. That was a lesson for today. We pray that the word found you, unbound you if you're bound, and that we govern ourselves accordingly. If you enjoyed the lesson, feel free to push the share button, that somebody else might be blessed as well. If you're a supporter of this ministry, may Yah continue to bless you, and we pray that the ministry is a blessing to you as well. If you'd like to become a supporter of this ministry because this ministry is a blessing to you, you got the Cash App? Just put in 510-209-5818. Y'all want to talk about the word? Super easy to do. All you got to do is dial 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Again, 302-202-1102, extension 815648. Y'all be Baruch, Barak Shalom. I'm gone.